Hello and welcome again to Screen Challenge, the series that showcases the very best in student film and video. In 2 weeks' time, we'll be inviting you to our grand final at the UCI Cinema Complex at Port Solent, when our 5 competing colleges will each be entering a brand new film or video for our Student Filmmaker of the Year competition. This week, though, we're over in Kent at the Maidstone campus of the Kent Institute of Art and Design. The course here is very much art and design based, and if you're after something a little more experimental and avant-garde than usual, well, I promise you won't be disappointed. But what exactly should you expect from the course in Maidstone? Well, that's the question we put to the students themselves, and this is the answer they came up with.
Animation for me.
I've only just discovered animation.
It's very time consuming.
I've been working mostly 2D.
I'm building up some sort of style with that.
I went into the studio.
Speak!
And recorded some noises down.
Testing, testing.
Cut them up into loops.
1, 2, 3.
I just covered the film with felt pen marks.
Well, Maidstone won a scholarship for the Fujifilm competition.
You actually understand the production and the pre-production sort of techniques a hell of a lot more than I would have done on doing individual work.
From my point of view, you put it in lots of different ways, so you could either be anything that isn't mainstream,
Narrative, documentary,
bracketed in,
experimental,
anything that's sort of outside of that,
ideas,
or things that are moving more into
issues,
completely
form and structure.
constructed without wanting to portray any storyline.
Really?
I wouldn't be doing it if I hadn't been here.
Good.
You can edit these things, can't you? Right. Part-time lectures have been excellent.
Oh yeah, the staff.
I'm not a technician.
Generally the support is there.
They'd save your life.
Just rearrange all that and it should make some sense somewhere along the lines.
Well, follow that. Absolutely brilliant. The media course at the Kent Institute of Art and Design. Steve Kemp and Matt Lee masterminded the production, and extremely impressive it was too. So well done from all of us at Screen Challenge. Now, one of Kent's recent graduates was Aaron Crabb. Like every other Maidstone student, he was encouraged to be bold and imaginative in the way he tackled a simple theme. Has he done it? Well, you be the judge. His piece is called Yellow, and this is just a taste.
My favorite color is yellow. Everything I like is yellow. I painted my bedroom yellow, 'cause my favorite color is yellow. And everything in here is yellow. Even my birdie is yellow. My sheets and my blankets are yellow. The blinds on the windows are yellow. So all of the light is yellow. I made sure the light shade was yellow. My mother made some cushion covers. She made them for me for my birthday. She asked me what color I wanted. I said that they had to be yellow, 'cause yellow's my favorite color.
I have a feeling he likes yellow. That was Yellow by Aaron Crabb. What's he trying to achieve? Well, we asked him, and he explained that he's confronting and making sense of the experience of light and colour. Simon Oxley is another student who's taken up the Kent invitation to challenge the way we see and think. Now, to do this, Simon has invented something he calls his pramcorder. Viewers of a giddy disposition are advised to hang on tight. And if that's made you feel a bit queasy, stay tuned. Simon has another little journey to share. Now, the course at Maidstone has always been video-based. The skills that students pick up here are in constant demand in professional broadcasting. Just one of the reasons why 70% of Kent directors find jobs on graduation. More and more of these jobs are in computer animation, a field that attracted Jamie Walker. You think computers make life easy? Well, the tiny piece you're about to see took 2.5 months to put together. Amazing images, beautifully controlled. Art Lenavant is another Maidstone director fascinated by animation. He's now doing an MA at London's Guildhall University, and this is one of the pieces that took him there. Art Lenavant reminding us that animation doesn't have to mean Bugs Bunny or Donald Duck. In a moment, some more challenges to the way we see and think from the fledgling directors of the Kent Institute of Art and Design. See you after the break.
Yo, baby. or this. If you weren't, they'd call in the RSPCA.
Groovy.
He'll take good care of that, just like Boots Opticians did with me. Very thorough eye test. The optician made it clear exactly what was right for me. As for frames, it was good to get some advice. Decided on a designer pair. After all, everything in their sale's half price. Nice to know someone else cares about my eyes. That's really worth something.
Half-price frames at Boots Opticians. We care because you do.
The last time we were here was when I proposed to her. It seems like only yesterday. All I want to do now is show her that I'd marry her all over again.
From Gillette comes a uniquely different form of protection for men. Gillette Series Clear Gel Antiperspirant. It's a soft gel and it goes through underarm hair directly to the skin surface to fight odor and wetness where they begin. And that means powerful all-day protection. The revolutionary Gillette Series Clear Gel Antiperspirant. One of the advanced antiperspirants in the Gillette series.
There's a nutritious food. A food packed with wholesome wheat bran. A food that starts your day like no other. With more fiber than any other leading cereal. And 10 essential vitamins and minerals. One life, one food. One great fiber provider, Kellogg's All Bran.
Could this be the site of the legendary larynx wobbler?
Sounds like somebody got there before us. Well, there's good news and there's bad news. Good news is, could be we found the amber nectar. Bad news is...
What's the bad news?
Oh, it looks like they haven't got a toilet.
Hello again. As we've seen, media students down in Maidstone are encouraged to throw away the rule book and start again when it comes to visual imagination. Slightly more orthodox is Lois Carswell's film You Have Made It So. Lois explores an all-too-familiar preoccupation, the fears of women alone in a city at night. This is the result.
Big black patches of shadow fall in my path, cast by street lamps. I disappear into them, hidden now. The darkness is an easy cover for camouflage. If I can hide and disappear from sight, you can too. Night is not a friend to the female who walks alone. You have made it so. Flickers of movement stir the silence and alarm me. My breath drawn, tight, to make my hearing precise, so that I can hear you. Leaves crackle and dry twigs break underfoot. I press down on them now, lightly, to catch you pressing heavily. Vision only stretches so far, yet so much surrounds. So many places of darkness and depth that my attention craves to see. Telling me, you are there. crumpled newspaper brushes across the pavement. Such stories appear daily of the woman walking alone in the early evening hours, attacked by you. Don't stop when asked the time. Don't stop to give directions. Carry an alarm. Walk facing oncoming traffic and cross the road if someone is approaching on your side of the pavement. There would be no need for such device and precaution. Without you. Without you, we would be safe. My imagination plays games and builds up the anxiety in me. It takes over and unstables me. I lose control of all rationale. Panic sets in. I run from you and where you hide. I see you get out of your car. I see you in the shadows. I see you behind and in front of me. And yet, I don't see anything. Except the fear.
Sobering stuff. Lois Carswell on Nights Alone in City Streets. Simon Oxley was the man who flipped us over and over in Revolution 1. He's back again with Swing. Yuck. Simon Oxley again. It seems all you need is a metal pole, a bolt, a camera, and, oh yes, the knack of never getting dizzy. Our last film from the Kent Institute of Art and Design is a Screen Challenge special. It happens to be the producer's favourite, but because the rest of us needed, well, just a little bit more guidance, we asked director Scott Foley to make an appearance. We gave him 1 minute to tell us what we're in for, and this is what he said.
I wanted to make water horses so that I could show an everyday scene, but show that scene from a completely different perspective, so that the meaning of that scene would be completely different. The scene in question is of a man sitting in his back garden, looking at a pond that he has built. He looked at it for some while, and I wondered why. Was he looking at the fish in the pond, or was he just enjoying the garden as a whole? I didn't know why, so I had to make the reasons up myself. One of the voices in the piece is an actor who speaks what the man in the garden might have been thinking. I wanted the piece to say, when people look at objects, or whatever they're looking at, what do they gain from that? And how much information is required on a subject before that knowledge can be put to some use?
Scott Foley on why he made water horses, and the black bits you're about to see are on purpose, by the way, so please do not adjust your sets.
Well, I think there are two things to be borne in mind always, which are in the nature of horsing. First, every horse has its place in the herd, and he defers to those horses who are senior to him.
It was back in the spring of this year when I was on holiday. As well as seeing lots of other things on holiday, I had seen a few horses. I produced a visual record of the horses and other things at the very time of seeing them, so I wouldn't forget any of them. In the summer of the same year, I felt the urge to see horses again.
I see he's the governor.
I looked at my visual record of the holiday horses for clues to their nature and behaviour. From this, all I could gain was that when horses did appear, they appeared next to bodies of water. I then set out to find out all about horses.
no alternative.
I rang people up and asked them things about horses. When I'd rang everyone I knew and found no new knowledge, I rang some people I didn't know. I found these people that I didn't know in the public telephone directory. I discovered these people's telephone numbers randomly spread throughout the pages because I picked them in a random manner, since the chosen people are no more likely to not know about horses as anybody else in the directory. I couldn't realistically predict who in the phone book would know what I wanted to know. I said hello to several people once they had answered. I said, I'm inquiring about horses. Where are they? How much do they cost? If you don't know, just say. No one I rang knew or would willingly give the information I requested. After a day at the races, I realised it had been a wasted day. It was no help at all in my search for horse information.
As soon as it was pulled. From
I
that moment
discovered
on,
a
he took it
recording
for
of
granted that
information
the man was
on the
actually
subject
stronger
of
than he was.
horses.
And this would lay the basis of his lifelong manageability. You quite often get a glimpse in Western films of the process of pulling down. You will see a rope on a horse and 5 or 6 cowboys with their heels dug into the ground having a tug-of-war with a horse, which he must lose if his belief in man's inevitable victory is going to be established. It's the same thing with the hair-raising process of bronco busting, where a man gets...
Since the last place I had seen horses appear was next to some water, that's where I decided to look next. I had constructed a hole with water in our garden, so that the water would attract some horses. We arranged the chairs around the water so that when the horses came along, there would be enough space for them to fit next to the water. Since I think they sleep at night, we started to wait for the horses early in the morning and were prepared to wait throughout the daylight hours. It was a hot day, so I considered the horses would soon arrive to drink. After a good while, the horses had still not arrived. I thought that perhaps there was not sufficient water in the hole to attract such a large creature as the horse, so I connected up a hose pipe to put even more water in.
Have to be done with intelligence and understanding. Sometimes one will succeed, and sometimes another. I knew a girl who was great with horses and had trained many of them.
I hoped that I wouldn't have to wait too long, or I might forget the name of the animal I was waiting for, what it looked like, or that it even existed at all. If that happens, I might picture a jockey race in which the jockeys would be seen to be about 6 feet off the ground with nothing to support them and moving slightly either way in the vertical plane while still having to win a race.
A difficult bit of backing up of some sort before they start their round, in order to remind the horse that he's under man's control. For the same reason, horse people don't really like a well-trained horse to be taken out by an inexperienced rider. Things can go wrong, and the horse's understanding of things can get muddled again. In fact, if things go really wrong and the horse discovers that he's in charge, then the whole process may have to begin again at the beginning. My father used to say that whenever you take a horse out, you always bring a different horse back, not the same one.
More water in the hole had no effect, it seemed, so I obtained a fountain device that I hoped would enable the horses to sense the water more easily, or the increased height of water would have been easier to see from wherever the horses were.
Whether you have a more retiring horse who would be likely to be pushed around by the rest of the company and the wild herd.
Our cat also watched and waited with us for the horses. I think that probably it did not realise that the horse is a very large creature and that they cannot breathe underwater, because the cat sat and watched the water in the hole in expectation that the horses would arrive from beneath the surface of the water. I knew enough about horses by this time not to make any such mistake.
That in the wild he's a very highly strung animal.
We have a spare cat. We keep it in case ours becomes lost or loses its life under a motor vehicle. It's not exactly the same. It has got wide paws, whereas our proper cat has not. We keep the spare cat just over the wall so that it is ready at hand, close by in case it is needed at a moment's notice.
In the wild, it's by panicking that they stay alive. So there is absolutely no point in frightening a horse, because a frightened horse is unmanageable.
The horses never did arrive. I think I must have forgotten to open the front door of my house. They wouldn't then have been able to arrive at the garden via the hallway and kitchen.
Those very horse trainers, the experts,
they might just have got stuck in traffic.
Dramatic demonstration of man's authority are as gentle as nursemaids with their horses.
Scott Foley's Water Horses, a film that both his tutor and our producer described as wonderful. Anton Dolders was the voice on the soundtrack, and the other voice belonged to Jack Hargreaves, the countryman and broadcaster who took us out of town. And the man in next door's garden was, yes, Scott Foley's neighbour. I wonder if he's watching. Well, that's all from Kent. Next week we're back where we started, in Bournemouth, although this time we'll be visiting the film school at the College of Art and Design. In the meantime, if you want more information about the course at the Kent Institute, here's the address. From me, Bill Buckley, goodbye.
I just ask you to clear the shoulder.